Welcome everyone. My name is Christie Rosen, and today we're practicing a restorative yoga class to soothe overwhelm. And this class is especially designed for highly sensitive people. And we are now recording in the Sensitive Empowerment community, which is a positive alternative to social media for highly sensitive people. And you can learn more and join at sensitivecommunity.com. So for our class today, we're going to be using some props. So we're going to want 2 pillows, kind of like you could use ones from your bed. You could use couch pillows. If you happen to have a yoga bolster, that would also work. We're going to use a chair and then a blanket. So if you're watching the recording, you can pause and grab your props, and otherwise we will get started. Again, welcome everyone to our restorative practice to support overwhelm. And we're going to start right off with our first pose. And we're going to use the chair for our first pose and then the blanket. So you can take your blanket and place it a little bit in front of your chair. And you can adjust this as you need to. And we're going to take our legs to the outside of the chair, so a wide position with the legs. I can move over a little bit so you can see. And so the chair can be on the mat or not, but you do want to be able to move it closer to you as needed. And then you also may want a pillow here too. So you're sitting up on your blanket and you may want a pillow, and you're going to just fold your head forward, resting your head on the pillow, maybe on the chair if that feels better. You can take one hand on top of the other. And so just find a way to rest your head. So most important here is that we can rest our heads. Different from other types of yoga, restorative yoga is all about relaxation. So the idea is that we set ourselves up in a comfortable position, supported by props, and we allow the props to hold us, to nurture us in a sense, into down-regulating the nervous system, coming into a more parasympathetic relaxation response, so that we can rest and heal and rejuvenate. So the most important thing here is that you're comfortable. So if you notice already that you're not comfortable, think about what you might need to be more comfortable. You might need another pillow. You might want to bring your legs closer together. And you might even decide that this pose isn't for you, and that's okay too. So the lesson that we're always learning as highly sensitive people is to listen to our bodies. And that is exactly the lesson in restorative yoga. So you set yourself up and you do your best to stay still as long as you're comfortable enough. You stay still and rest. So as highly sensitive people, we can be definitely more prone to overwhelm. And how I see overwhelm is basically just a feeling that too much is coming at you. You have too many things to do, or it feels that way. And things that maybe wouldn't be so hard on their own start to kind of pile up, and it just feels like too much. It can also be a feeling of just not enough time. And so this is a little different than our overstimulation, which we also experience as highly sensitive people, which is more of a sensory overload that can happen in an instant if we've come into a space that's overstimulating with noise or lights, others' energies. And so they kind of go together. They're also a little different. And we're going to focus on overwhelm for this practice. And we're going to use a mantra as you rest here. May I be gentle with myself in times of overwhelm. May I trust that I have all the time that I need. May I be gentle with myself in times of overwhelm. May I rest when I need to and trust I have all the time that I need. And sometimes when we have a lot to do, resting feels like the last thing that we want to prioritize because we want to get things checked off the list. But through our rest and rejuvenation, we're able to come back stronger so that we can more effectively manage and handle whatever is coming towards us. So appreciate yourself genuinely for taking this time in this moment to relax and nurture your highly sensitive nervous system. May I be kind and gentle with myself in times of overwhelm. May I allow myself to rest and trust that I have all the time that I need. If you haven't already, you can start to feel your breath. So just paying a little bit of attention to your breath as you rest here. Perhaps slowing the breath down. When you start to feel stressed and overwhelmed, our breath can get short and we're not actually taking in all the oxygen that we need. We're not actually expelling the air that no longer serves us as well. So as we relax and deepen the breath, we can help ourselves to even feel just a little bit less overwhelmed, more calm and centered. And then very slowly, I'm going to start to lift up out of this shape. And take your time as we move through each pose. I really want you to transition slowly. That's going to help you stay relaxed. So you can come upright and just sit for a moment upright. noticing any shift in the mind or body as we've come out of our first shape. And then you can slowly move the chair a little bit out of the way. You won't need it until later. And then we're going to come off of the blanket. And we'll take both pillows, or if you happen to have a bolster, you could use that. And we're going to stack them on top of one another the long way. They should look about like this. And then you're going to sit with your right hip next to your pillows. And you may want this blanket, if you have your blanket, in between your knees. So you're supporting your legs with your blanket. And we're going to take a twist. So you're going to take your right hand around to the outside of the pillows. Your left hand can come to the left side of the pillows. Take a moment to sit upright. Give yourself a little twist. And then you can start to come forward, resting on your pillows here. You can turn your head to the left. That's going to be more gentle. That feels good to me. Or if you wanted to make the twist a little deeper, you could turn your head to the right, although that's definitely not necessary. And I know for me, it's not as relaxing to do that. And remember, our goal is to relax. So listening to your body for what feels most relaxing to you. If anything feels uncomfortable, take the next few rounds of breath to adjust. If your right hip feels like it's not comfortable, you could slide your hip backwards a little bit, or you could even take your blanket and place it under you for more support. And then if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And allow yourself again to rest. So it's really helpful to start to become aware of the signs of overwhelm before they go too far. And if we can, to not push past them, but to stop when we notice those feelings and think about what we can do to support ourselves. Maybe it's a restorative yoga practice, but realistically, that's not always something we do have time for in the moment. Maybe it's a few deep breaths. Maybe listening to a song that helps you to relax or release stress. Maybe going for a short walk. But finding some ways that you can call upon when you feel overwhelmed that help you to rebalance and find center again. They won't always work right away, but the practice of nurturing yourself does build over time. In some ways, relaxation is a skill that needs to be learned or relearned. So whether you're feeling like it's working well or not, know that it is still good to practice. Remembering, may I be kind and gentle with myself when I'm feeling overwhelmed. May I allow myself to rest and trust that I have the time that I need. As you're resting here, see if you can let go of any tension you might be holding that's not necessary, like feeling like you have to hold yourself in the pose with your arms, or feeling if there's tension in the jaw or in the face. And with your next exhale, imagine you could just release a little bit more into the support below you. You can take a few more breaths on this side. When you feel ready, start to bring some weight into your hands so that you can slowly lift yourself back up to sit. And when you come back up, you can pause. Take a deep breath and maybe exhale through the mouth. And then we'll go right around to the other side. So you'll turn around to the left hip next to the props, and you'll take that twist here. I'm going to move the other way so I can still face towards the screen here. So take a moment to really sit upright before you fold, if you haven't already folded. Find that lengthening of the spine. And then start to come forward into your twist. And you can do with your head what you did on the other side. So if you turned your head to the opposite way on the other side, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, keep your head to the right, which will be more gentle. Adjust your hips if you need to. Adjust that blanket between your knees. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Notice if you feel like you're gripping or holding yourself up with your arms, and see if you can find a way to feel totally held by your prop. Sometimes when we're feeling overwhelmed and we have a lot on our plate, the best thing that we can do is to ask for help.
It can be challenging, but I find it's helpful to remember that giving someone the gift of helping you can mean a lot to them. As you know for yourself, I'm sure that when you've helped people, it makes you feel really good and like what you're doing matters. It's important and valuable to be able to give and help. And so, if you know you need help, but you're feeling hesitant to ask, remember that it's a gift. Asking for help can be a gift. We don't have to do this life alone. Even though our culture is very individualistic, when we really think about the interconnectedness of us all, there's just no denying that we all need each other. Not meant to do this alone. And our lives can work a lot more fluidly. We can feel healthier and stronger when we allow ourselves help when we need it. May I be gentle with myself in times of overwhelm. May I allow myself to rest. Trust that I have the time that I need, and maybe may I allow myself to ask for help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And especially as highly sensitive people in this often chaotic and busy world, sometimes we need a little bit more help than some other people because of the way our brains are wired, our bodies, our nervous systems work. We are just more easily overwhelmed, more easily overstimulated. And that's just how it is. It doesn't make us bad or wrong. And we have so many other gifts that we get to share. And we can share those gifts only when we're well enough to do so. And so when we ask for help and we get help, then we can also help others. We don't all have to be good at everything. It's not even possible. Everyone, whether sensitive or not, has strengths and weaknesses. So we want to lean into our strengths and ask for help in areas that are a little more challenging. And that's okay. Take a few more breaths on this side. And if you feel ready, you can start to press into your hands to come back up to sit for a moment. Pause and maybe take a long exhale through the mouth. Noticing how you feel. And then we're going to keep the pillows where they are. And you're going to take your blanket, if you have it, and place it towards the back of the pillows. This is going to be to put under your head because you're going to lay back over the pillows. So if you're ready, sit. Depending on how long the pillows are, you can either sit right up against the pillows or you might need a little bit of space between yourself and the pillows. And you're going to lay back, resting your head on the blanket. You could adjust the blanket as you need to. You can take your arms out to your sides, and then there's a few options with the legs. You could keep the feet flat and the knees bent. You could bring the bottoms of the feet together and the knees out to the side, which may be a little bit too much of a stretch to help you fully relax. So just kind of notice that it might be a lot too much of a stretch. So just be aware if you had something to place under your knees, like a couple of blocks, you could do that, but it's not necessary because the other option is to straighten the legs out, which is probably the most comfortable option, unless it doesn't feel good on your low back, in which case you could bend the knees again. You might even knock your knees towards one another with your feet flat. So take a moment to find the shape that feels most comfortable. Remember, most comfortable, most relaxing to you. Closing the eyes again, maybe covering the eyes with something if you'd like. Allowing this gentle heart opener continue to help you to relax, release overwhelm, and rest.
And take a moment to notice how you feel. You're more than welcome to stay in this shape longer. So you can either stay here or we'll move into our last relaxation pose, in which we'll use the chair again. So if you are ready to move, you could start by bending the knees if they're not already bent, placing the feet down on the mat. And you could either press into your hands to come up to sit, or you could roll to one side and slowly lift yourself up. And then here, take your time as you move, remember. We're going to set up with, you'll definitely want a pillow and the blanket, probably not both pillows. You could put one off to the side. And you're going to bring your chair a little closer towards you. The pillow is going to go under your head. The blanket is more for warmth and coziness. And then getting into the pose is kind of the harder part. We're going to lift the legs up onto the chair. So you can take your hands back behind you and swing your legs up. You want your thighs and the backs of your knees to rest on the chair. And you'll lay yourself down with your head on the pillow. And then the blanket could come over your torso here. You could try to bring it all the way up to the legs. So if that feels good, this is where you stay. You could also just rest on your back without the chair. So you could move the chair out of the way, straightening out your legs, and just rest in Shavasana on your back. I am 21 weeks pregnant, so I'm not going to lay on my back. So I'm going to sit upright. So you could also do that if you wanted to take a final meditation as the remainder of your practice. And so wherever you are, whatever shape you've chosen, you can take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. And just allow yourself to rest here. Nothing to do but relax and nurture yourself. Shavasana. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. And you can begin to deepen your breath. Noticing how you feel and definitely allowing yourself to stay in your relaxation pose for as long as you want, as long as you can. So if you have another bit of time in your day, you could just stay here. Don't have to move. But if you are ready to move, you could slowly take your time to wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe pull your knees into your chest. So if your legs are up on the chair, you can start to pull the legs in towards you and give yourself a gentle hug. Rolling over maybe to one side and resting in fetal position. From there, if you like, you can come up to a comfortable seated position. You could come up to sit and bring your palms together at your heart. And checking in with how you feel. And genuinely thanking yourself for taking this time out of your day to support yourself, to relax, and to release overwhelm. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to guide you through your practice. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. If you'd like to join our nurturing and supportive community, you can find us at sensitivecommunity.com. We look forward to connecting with you there. I also wanted to mention that as a gift to anybody here, I'm offering a special 1-month free trial to my Yoga for the Sensitive Soul monthly membership. So you can check that out. I'll put the link in the chat, and there's a code that you can use at checkout. Usually it's a 1-week free trial, but I'm offering a special month trial. And if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm going to end the recording now, and then we can chat. So let's see. All right, thanks so much.